Hello, my name is Triveni Bhatt. Welcome to my presentation on evaluating accessibility in gamified learning platforms. This project focused on two very popular educational platforms, Duolingo and Khan Academy, and how well they support users with disabilities. Over the semester, I conducted a detailed hands on evaluation guided by the accessibility standards like WCAG 2.1 and Section 508. Today, I'll walk you through my motivation, methodology, findings, and recommendations. Gamification has changed how we approach education, making learning more interactive and fun. However, while engagement is prioritized, accessibility often remains an afterthought. Many students, especially those with disabilities, find gamified platforms difficult or impossible to navigate. This creates an unnecessary barrier to learning. My motivation for this project was to explore these gaps and identify how gamified systems can be made more inclusive for all learners. I chose two major platforms for my evaluation: Duolingo, which heavily gamifies the language learning experience with streaks, hearts, and rewards, and Khan Academy, which uses a lighter approach to gamification, incorporating badges and missions, but primarily focusing on content. By analyzing both, I hope to capture a broad view of how different levels of gamification impact accessibility. The literature reveals a major gap. While gamified research focuses heavily on engagement, accessibility is rarely addressed. Buzi emphasized the need for customizable interfaces to serve diverse learners. Nicheva's review showed that most gamified studies didn't even mention disability inclusion. Novak and Tassel warned that some mechanics unintentionally exclude students with disabilities. Marksevsky proposed integrating standards like WCAG and Section 508 into the design phase itself. This literature clearly supports the need for proactive accessibility in educational games. My evaluation used a hands-on testing approach. I applied the WCAG 2.1 and Section 508 standards to assess these platforms. I conducted testing across devices, desktop, tablet, and mobile, while using screen readers like NVDA, VoiceOver, and Chromevox. I tested features like screen reader navigation, high contrast display, text resizing, and feedback systems. Instead of automated tools, I simulated real world user experience to find gaps that automated testing often misses. Duolingo was excellent in terms of adaptive difficulty. The platform personalized learning based on performance, making it motivating and engaging. However, it failed badly on screen reader navigation. Elements were poorly labeled, and users had to rely on focusing on technical IDs. Khan Academy was stronger in structure and labeling, making it easier for screen reader users, but its UI was often cluttered, which could overwhelm learners with ADHD, dyslexia, and cognitive disabilities. This chart summarizes the accessibility performance of both platforms. You can see Duolingo scored higher in adaptive difficulty and visual clarity, but lower in screen reader navigation. Khan Academy scored better in screen reader compatibility but had challenges with cognitive overload due to dense interfaces. Both platforms have room for improvement, but their strengths differ. And this is the scoring rubrics. My first recommendation to bridge this gap is to replace technical element IDs with meaningful ARIA labels to support screen readers. Both platforms should implement a built in high contrast mode rather than relying on device settings. I also recommend providing multimodal feedback, visual, auditory, and haptic, so learners can choose the feedback style that works best for them. Finally, consistent accessibility across devices is critical to ensure a smooth learning experience. whether the user is on mobile, desktop, or tablet. One challenge was the steep learning curve involved in mastering screen readers like NVDA and VoiceOver. Another was dealing with device specific differences. Some accessibility features worked well on desktop but poorly on mobile. Future work includes conducting real user testing with learners who have disabilities to gather first hand feedback and expanding evaluation to other gamified platforms like Brilliant.org or Edmodo. Accessibility should not be treated as an afterthought in gamified learning. By embedding inclusive practices from the design phase onward, we can create platforms that engage and support every learner. Inclusive education benefits not only students with disabilities but everyone. Thank you so much for listening.